So I shot my first sporting event. I'm Adam Hausmeyer, welcome back to my channel. So the other night I got a chance to shoot a sporting event, which is basically just me sitting up in the stands, taking pictures of the Palm girls and cheer girls as they did the other thing. My daughter's on the Palm squad, so I was happy to take pictures of them while they did their palming. And I bought that 150 to 500 lens because I thought I was going to sit way up in the stands and had to shoot way down on them and to get some good pictures. So I thought I needed that much reach. But for the first game, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take the 70 to 180 Tamron and see how it goes. I just didn't want to pull out the big guns right off the bat. And so I wanted to see. So I took the smaller lens just to see how it would go. And luckily, we were able to sit right down close, about 2 or 3 rows up from the field. And the 70-180 was just perfect. Now, as I looked around at some of the other cameras being used to photograph the sporting event there, the football game and so on, pretty much everybody had a 70 to 200 2.8. So that's a really popular focal length and lens to be using to filming sporting events. It's particularly football games. And then when I go to basketball games, I see they pretty much all use the 70 to 200 2.8. So that's a really good focal length and f-stop for sporting events. Now at the beginning of the game, I could have got away with pretty much any lens. Actually, I think the 28 to 200 would have been perfect for the beginning because the light was good. Or like a 70 to 200 f4. Either of those lenses would have been great at the beginning of the game because you can keep your shutter speed relatively high, shoot in the higher f-stops, and not have too much noise in your footage. But as the game wore on and of course the sun went down and the stadium lights took over, you had to start decreasing the f-stop, but you still got to keep that shutter speed fairly high. I was shooting anywhere between 500 and 1,000, because you want to be able to freeze the motion. And that's really where I think the 2.8 comes into play there. So I think that, you know, if you're shooting anything out in the broad daylight sun, you know, anything f4 higher will work, you know. But if you're going to be shooting anything at night or a sport that's going into the nighttime, 2.8 is going to be very important to you. Now the Tamron lens, I find it to be pretty good. It's a middling lens. It's about mid-range price, and you get about mid-range performance. Autofocus in the Tamron seems to be fairly good, but with Sony lenses, it just seems to be just a little bit better, which can make a big difference when you're shooting palms and cheerleaders, because, I mean, there's palms flying everywhere, there's hair flying everywhere, they're moving over here, moving over there, and the things are flying in front of their face, you know, and it's just taking a little bit longer to acquire focus. And I think the Sony lens might do a better job at that. But for the most part, the Tamron is a good lens, you know, for an average person to buy. And, you know, I never really had any problems with it, but I just think that Sony lens might be just a little bit better, a little bit more suited for the needs of shooting sporting events. I wish it had image stabilization in it, because when you get out there, the 200 millimeters, you really have to crank that shutter speed up high, because you can introduce camera shake into your videos and photos because there's no image stabilization in the actual lens. That 20 extra millimeters that you get with the Sony lens might not seem like a lot, but when you're in certain situations, man, you just need that extra 20 millimeters. You need that extra little bit of reach to get the perfect picture. So I wish the Tamron 180, 70 to 180 had better reach and image stabilization in the lens, but it don't, you know. In order to step up to a lens like that, you have to get the Sony model, the 70 to 200 2.8. It's way crazy expensive, but it does have all these extra features and everything that would be really nice for sports shooting. So luckily that lens is way on back order. I don't even think I'd be able to get it by the end of the season, but I might try. I might try, because obviously it's better quality than the Tamron, and just those few extra features make it a worthwhile upgrade. I don't know if it's worth that much, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, just a short little video here. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.